Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products.
Hello. Hello, Frida, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Grace. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc, for the response. Good evening, everyone. From where you are, I hope you had a nice day. For those, my name is Grace Ngare. I'm the coordinator of Biomedical Knowledge Translation. I welcome you all for the seventh session of our Biomedical Knowledge Translation Quadratic Funding Cohort 2. Today we are going to be focusing on quadratic funding in the manufacturing stage of biomedical knowledge translation. Briefly, I can give you the meeting agenda for today. We're going to have Isaac Moremi as our topic master for today. I can see he hasn't joined, but he's telling me that he's joining in a few. Then we're going to have Dr. Mashara giving us the additional comments and also additional insights about the topic. Then you're going to have an interactive session for question and answer. Then you're going to conclude our meeting. So I can see he's still not in, but he's coming in. Yeah. Let me check up on him so that he may join us in a few.
All right, so today we are talking about manufacturing. And as we're waiting for Mr. Isaac Moremi, we can just review about the stages in biomedical research translation or biomedical knowledge translation. Remember, translation is not translating from English to Swahili or maybe Swahili to French. We are talking about translating knowledge from its theoretical knowledge into practical things. Let's say from thoughts to things, making things. And we have seen that that involves quite a number of stages, beginning with the exploration, where we are generating thoughts. Now we are exploring what we are thinking about. Remember that's Genesis moment, to exteriorizing what we find in our thoughts. And then from there, we come to formalization. That's formalizing or standardizing what we have exteriorized. And then we go to ideation, coming up now with solid ideas about what to create from our thoughts. So we are talking about biomedical knowledge here. So this ideation, we have covered all those stages. And then from there, we went to prototyping, which is what we were discussing last week. How you create a prototype from the idea that you have formulated. And then from the prototype, then that you can raise money and go into manufacturing. And through that process, you have seen the transition on the kind of money or the source of money. Let's say the source of money, the capital acquisition, where you acquire capital to go to take the knowledge through all those stages. From the stages of exploration, coming all the way to ideation, you require highly patient capital because it's high risk area. The return of investment for such is not certain. So there's high degree of uncertainty. That's what we have talked about. Very high degree of uncertainty that the likelihood that the idea will not make it to market is almost 100% in 100% of the times. Only about 5 out of 100 ideas will get into the market, will pass through first go PEB or prototyping stage. And so that area is considered very high risk, and it is usually a no-go zone for retail investors in the traditional finance model because there's no protection for investment.
Hello, Doc.
Yes.
Our topic master is in.
Oh, Mr. Yes, Mr. Isaac. So one thing, just doing this transition, is now we transition into the areas like manufacturing, where now the investment is kind of predictable. And so the risk of uncertainty, the uncertainty reduces tremendously to almost maybe less than 10 or 20%. And so people are much happier to invest in this area. So private investments, venture capital, and all that kind of money in traditional finance. But so decentralized finance makes all that go away, what you're going to see in this discussion today. So welcome, Mr. Isaac. Back to you, Grace.
Thank you so much, Doc. Isaac, you can continue.
Hi, everyone. Okay, thank you for this opportunity. I was late. I was doing I was running some few errands, but I'm back. So today is a good Tuesday because I'm going to lead you through an interesting topic. So, allow me to take my time to go to get, okay. Now I've gotten it. So today I'm going to take you through a very interactive topic. The topic is about quadratic funding in the manufacturing stage of biomedical knowledge. Let me set up. Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm settled. I'm having some few difficulties here and there. So I was to take you through quadratic funding in the manufacturing stage of biomedical knowledge translation. So quadratic funding is an innovative approach to funding public goods, leveraging collective contributions in a way that prioritizes smaller, widespread donation over large, concentrated ones. This model has gained traction in various fields, including biomedical knowledge translation, where it plays a critical role during the manufacturing stage of new biomedical products and technology. So, I want us to understand quadratic funding in biomedical knowledge translation. So, in biomedical knowledge translation, the journey from research to practical application is multifaceted. It involves various stages, including ideation, development, the ultimately manufacturing. So the manufacturing stage is crucial as it transitions theoretical research into tangible products such as medical devices, pharmaceuticals, or health-related technologies. Here, the financial burden is significant, and traditional funding models often fall short in supporting innovative yet high-risk ventures. Quadratic funding addresses this by ensuring that the most widely supported projects receive the most funding. It works by matching public contributions with the final amount calculated using a quadratic formula. This formula ensures that projects with broad public support, even if individual contributions are small, receive more matching funds than projects with large contributions from fewer donors. So, most of you may be asking why quadratic funding matters in manufacturing. Of course, these are the reasons as to why quadratic funding matters in manufacturing. So number one, we have increased inclusivity. Number two, you have risk mitigation. Number 3, we have encouraging innovation. Number 4, we have sustainability. So I'll take you one by one. So number 1, increased inclusivity. Quadratic funding democratizes the funding process. It allows smaller contributions, such as local communities or individual stakeholders, to have a significant impact on which biomedical products receive support. This inclusivity ensures that the resulting biomedical products are aligned with the needs and values of a broader population. Number 2, risk mitigation. The manufacturing stage is fraught with financial risk, especially when scaling up production or complying with regulatory standards. Quadratic funding helps distribute this risk across a wider base of funders, reducing the financial burden on any single entity and increasing the likelihood of project success. Number 3, encouraging innovation. By favoring projects with broad, albeit small-scale support, quadratic funding encourages innovation in biomedical knowledge translation. Often, groundbreaking projects are overlooked by traditional funding mechanisms because they don't initially attract large donors. However, with quadratic funding, these projects can secure the necessary resources to reach the manufacturing stage and ultimately the market. Number 4, sustainability. Quadratic funding creates a sustainable ecosystem for funding biomedical innovation. It nurtures a culture of ongoing public involvement and ensures that projects continue to receive the necessary support through various stages of development and manufacturing based on their sustained public interest and impact. So, how do we implement quadratic funding in manufacturing? I know you'll be asking yourself that. So, to effectively implement quadratic funding in the manufacturing stage, stakeholders should consider the following steps. Number 1, broadening the donor base. Engage a diverse range of donors from large organizations to individual contributors to maximize the impact of quadratic funding. Number 2, transparent communication. Clearly communicate the goals, milestones, and impact of the biomedical project to potential donors to garner widespread support. And number 3, collaborative platforms. Utilize digital platforms that facilitate quadratic funding, ensuring easy access and participation for all potential donors. Number 4, regular updates. Provide regular updates on the project's progress through the manufacturing stage to maintain donor interests and trust. Then, in conclusion, or in a nutshell, quadratic funding offers a powerful tool for bringing the gap between innovative research and practical market-ready biomedical solutions. By embracing the model, we can foster a more inclusive, innovative, and sustainable approach to biomedical knowledge translation, ensuring that vital health advancements reach those who need them the most. So, as I conclude, I have a question to Doc. So, concerning according to implementing quadratic funding in manufacturing, there's this point, regular updates, where the stakeholders should regularly check updates on the project's progress or check on any person requiring any assistance concerning any project. So my question is, do stakeholders, or rather donors, follow up on project's progress? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isaac, for that nice presentation. Thank you also for the question you asked. So at this time, I want to welcome Doc to answer your question and also give us more insights about this interesting topic. Welcome, Doc.
Well, thank you so much. Confirm you can hear me, Grace? No?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Isaac, for bringing us back to this great idea of quadratic funding and its power for inclusivity. As we have said in very many talks about quadratic funding is many to many. Okay, many to many. Because the traditional finance was one to many. One to many, like you have one investor, donating all the money. One investor coming out with all the money and then reaping the returns on investment by himself. And so they create a unicorn. You know what are unicorns? Unicorns are those companies that have got very few investors and they're not in the public market. So we have a herd of unicorns, like a herd of unicorns. So many companies today, particularly in the Web2 arena, are unicorns that they are not publicly traded, even in the NASDAQ. And that is very dangerous because it means the company is owned by only one person or one group of investors, just a few people. So the traditional finance, you see, it went through the open finance through the public markets, the IPOs, and then come around 2010s, then the IPO began to decline, and we don't have too much participation in public by the public in project development or even in financing, and so we have unicorns, which is one to one, big investor making a product, making a company, and reaping all the profits. So quadratic funding overthrows all that. That we now have a mechanism and technology for getting lots of people in the community to participate in funding projects that matter to them, to provide financing or to supply capital to ideas and projects for projects that matter to them, to create products. You can see the biggest problem we have in Africa today is we don't manufacture anything in biomedicine. We don't make medical devices. We don't make. Someone needs to mute them. We don't make pharmaceuticals, and when you don't make pharmaceuticals and medical devices, and even hospital equipment, all medical supplies have to be imported from Europe, from United States, from India, from China. And you see, then in between the importing companies and the hospital itself, there comes somebody called the politician. And politicians like to harvest where they never planted. And they come along and create problems that when you're importing those medications, those medical devices, the politicians increase the prices, by putting tariffs.
Hello, kindly Moremi, mute.
Oh, that's Moremi here. Oh, Frida can mute him. Frida, you're able to mute Moremi. So yeah, so the costs of medical care rises inexorably. It's so high because we have to import everything, including medical water. See, water that comes free from the rain. And so we say, let's stop all that. Let us use quadratic funding to rally financing so we can put money on ideas and we can manufacture. You can turn those ideas into products and we manufacture them in large quantities so we can supply our medical needs. So medical supplies, we should not import anything we use in our hospitals or in our healthcare system anymore. We should not do that. So we are saying no to importing things. And when you stop importing things, you find that the cost of care drops like a stone. The cost of care will drop from high heaven to the ground. Why? Because when you import something from other places, it comes with a lot of costs. The people who manufacture that in higher places, when they're making it in China or they're making it in Europe, you still have to pay for their labor. It's very, very, very expensive. Such that the cost of care in a place like Kenya is 10 times as much as the cost of care in Boston. You know that receiving medical care in Boston is 10 times cheaper than receiving it in Nairobi. Yeah. Why is it that way? Because people in Boston are manufacturing their own things. They don't go to Nairobi to buy things they can use in Boston. No. They buy things now when it comes to important medical procedures, like surgical procedures, they become totally inaccessible and price prohibitive, that people have to fly out of the country to go and experience medical care in another country and then return home. And then when they return home, there's discontinuity of care. That the patient, if supposing you went to London to receive medical care, if you were to go to Boston, Massachusetts, to receive medical care must in a hospital because it's affordable there. Then you return to Kenya. Then who is going to take care of you after this surgery as post-operation follow-up? And it doesn't matter how good quality of surgical procedure you're going to experience in Massachusetts. If you return to Kenya and then you cannot have post-operative follow-up. And so I've seen that in very many instances where people have enough money, they can fly to London, they go to St. Mary's Hospital in London, or they go to Boston, Massachusetts, they go to Mass General Hospital, and then they stay in the hospital for even a month, but then return to Kenya. But then what they needed for post-follow-up care does not exist, and they end up dying. So all that money becomes a waste of time. And of course, it's very, very expensive. Now that they had to pay for the air transportation, they have to pay for accommodation in a foreign country, they have to buy a visa, so many other expenses. So that medical care is supremely expensive. It's not only expensive for the people who think are rich because they are poor, in terms of the fact that even if they get the best quality in London or Boston, they still will not survive because of the post-operative follow-up. The follow-up doesn't exist. So some quality without other quality is equals to zero quality. So quality is zero at prohibitively expensive price. Now that's sort of for the people who think they can afford, which is an illusion. That's an illusion of affordability. So then we have a group of people who cannot even afford to go to, say, local hospitals in Kenya because they don't have money. You see, they're also in the same states as those people who can fly out, because it doesn't matter where you go. If the local state, if the local situation cannot provide the quality needed, as we have always said, this thing operates on a principle of all or none. You either get all the quality all the way, but you cannot get 50% of the quality and expect that you're going to get anything that is equals to zero. That is why we have to work together to find how we manufacture our own biomedical devices. And biomedical is the same biomedical, technology that we need to provide affordable, high quality care locally. You cannot import it. It's an illusion. There's no care outside our home. That's what it is. There's no care outside our home. So let's now go back now to manufacturing process itself. See, manufacturing involves very many stages. Because when manufacturing, first of all, you made a prototype last week, and now you know that that prototype is a representation of a collection of raw materials. Because a prototype is not one thing. For example, if you say you want to manufacture biomedical water, intravenous water, you need water itself, which comes from the rain. That's not a problem. It's raining everywhere. If it's not raining, you can drill that water from the ground. But let's say you have got rainwater. Then that's the first raw material. The second raw material you're going to need is the ability to boil that water. You need some heating system, that is sterile for sterilizing. So you need equipment for managing that sterilization procedure. Maybe you want to heat the water to fraction it, to distill it, fractional distillation. You want to get distilled water. So you need something to do that, which is a device, which say a heating device to get the water all the way. And even when you heat it to the boiling point, you need another device to fractionate that, which is called distillation. So now you can collect pure water that is coming out from the top at the degree where you want. And of course, you need to understand chemistry, of course, to do that kind of thing. So you have knowledge. And then when you collect the water, you want to collect it into clean containers, clean bags. These clean bags, maybe they are either plastic bags or they are carboxylate, some material that is not destructible. And then, or you want to collect that clean water in bottles, in glass bottles, containers. All these things have to be autoclaved. So this, you can see there are so many things that you're putting together to make one bag of clean water, say like half a liter of distilled water, or say half a liter of Lingus lactase solution, or half a liter of just solid water, the one you do for intravenous water. You see, those things cost money. That money that you're going to need to put together those things is called the upfront capital investment. How do you get that capital? How do you raise that money? So first of all, you would have to have done some calculations and found out that you need at least, say, $30,000. That's about 3 million shillings to source all those equipment and things to get something going. And it could actually be less. It might not be so expensive, but you need to have calculated all that, find out how much money you're going to need. Then finding out the money to get started is not sufficient. You need to get started and keep going. Because you need food to eat, somewhere to live. You have to live somewhere. You have to have money to provide yourself plus your members of staff. Maybe you need to hire 1 or 2 people or 3 people. It's like a whole team to work with you in that. So you need money to pay them, at least they can survive until the project starts paying for itself. Where does that money come from? That's also patient capital. Now in manufacturing stages, now you're able to access money from the capital markets. Unlike the previous stages we've talked about before, where you're getting money from where? From government, grants, stuff like that. That's the traditional finance model. So then after that, if you collect money, now we're talking with quadratic funding. If you determine that you're going to need, say like $100,000, which is 10 million shillings, then you can now create a process for raising that money. In quadratic funding with tokens, now we can allocate a certain number of tokens to that project, and then we ask local people to buy at a certain price. Let's say they're buying the token at $1, and you say you manage to sell those tokens to maybe 1,000 people. So that's 1,000 shillings, but you see, you still really need to raise the rest of 100,000. So that's why we are talking about matching funds from people with a lot of money. If you can raise money from, say, 1,000 people raising $1, just local people. And who are those local people? They are people who have got immediate interest on what you are creating. Like you say, medical water, you can get your colleagues, your friends, you invite them. So we create a place where they can deposit at $1. Then you issue tokens to them. These tokens are already assigned to that project, and then when you reach that point, when you're doing that, you're also finding donors. And as you have said, Isaac, you need multiple donors, not just one donor, who can contribute matching funds. And they're going to contribute matching funds according to the quadratic formula. We have discussed this many times before. So the greater the number of local people that you bring in, the higher the amount of money you receive from donors. It's not the greater the quantity of money local people contribute for you, it's the greater the number of people. So it's about finance is now directly related to the number of people participating, local people at a low price, like $1, that's about 150 shillings. Instead of them contributing, 10,000 shillings each person. See? So that is the secret of quadratic formula. And then once you do that, then you can start the manufacturing process according to plan. Because you have to have made your roadmap to make sure that you have a business plan and you're going to follow it step by step. Now, now coming to your question, Isaac, is how do investors, like stakeholders, these are the people who have received tokens because they have contributed 150 shillings. There are thousands of people. Maybe if you're very good, you can mobilize several thousands of people. So you're gonna communicate with them. Of course, you get project update according to the milestones that are specified in the project document or in the business plan or the white paper itself. The white paper has got milestones, and besides them, you waiting for giving them periodic updates. You can have continuous conversation like what you're having today here. See, what we're having today in these Zoom calls is daily continuous updates, so that all the people who are in Actuate Nation can be updated to what Actuate is doing. And see, that is total inclusiveness, that people are immersed in the project. So you want to immerse people into your own project, the stakeholders, the people who have invested, like the holders of the token. You want to immerse them so they already are part of the project. Now, when they are part of the project, they are co-creating the project with you. And they have the opportunity to give their views, to give their opinions. If anything is going right, they celebrate that. If anything is going wrong, they can point that out. So you're correcting as you're going along. So it's continuous updates. These continuous updates, you could say, for just the continual community education, educating people about how the project is going. People feel very good when they're involved in that, because that's known as co-creation, because co-creating is the most effective way of communicating a vision. Then you can plan periodic updates, like deep updates, where you tell people every 3 months that we get very intensive updates, very detailed. And then at least every once a year, you have a meeting like what you're having the summit in December. So that's how you get the community to participate. And when the community is in those meetings, whether in daily update, continuous update, like in a WhatsApp group or Telegram group or Discord group, social media platforms, very important for continuous update. Then the more technical thing, you have a newsletter like what you have in Wayabi. The Wayabi itself, it's writing more detailed information. But then we have periodic updates, like every quarter. You have the state of the project, depending on the milestones, and according to the milestones, a milestone achieved. And then at every once a year, you have one summit where you invite everybody in the world, plus the outsiders, to come and partake, celebrate, even share insights, and even get to meet each other in person physically, like what we are doing in this year in December. So I hope that answers your question. So now I think because we're going to go into another session, I don't want to talk too much until I forget. You can see that we are at the brink of manufacturing in Africa. Even raising funds for manufacturing, it's been very difficult to raise money for manufacturing, particularly in biomedicine, because biomedical manufacturing comes with a lot of regulations, which are actually created to frustrate people in Africa and to keep them out of ideas of manufacturing. So that you can feel incompetent in front of those regulations. Those are not real regulations, they are made that way so that we think that we cannot manufacture. And of course, it comes with regulations against finance, then regulations about against good manufacturing practices, regulation against good clinical practices. And it has been done that way to make it impossible for you, if you're in Africa, to get to think about manufacturing. Because when you start talking about manufacturing, they start asking, have you thought of this? Have you thought? Those things are not real. You just need to say, we don't care about those. And we mobilize ourselves and get into quadratic funding. And then one thing you're going to notice that people on the ground, say like in universities and colleges, research organizations, they already know what they want to manufacture. The only thing they have not known how to do so far is how to organize money, to form capital to help in the manufacturing process. And we are saying that the solution is here. We're going to use it. And we have the Actuate token. It is the instrument that binds us all together to guide us through this quadratic funding process. Okay. So I'll stop there, and maybe there are questions, concerns, comments, philosophical thoughts, or even practical ideas. Back to you, Grace.
Thank you so much, Doc, for those wonderful insights about the quadratic funding in manufacturing stage. If anyone has a question, you can use the raise hand icon, or you can also type your question. We'll get to see it. Anyone with a question, this platform is open for you. Also, I hope, Moremi, your question has been answered.
So, Moremi,
Yeah.
is it clear? Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to say my question has been answered.
Okay. So let me ask you, Moremi, what kind of projects would you have in mind for biomedical manufacturing?
Concerning the projects, maybe we discuss them in person. Right
Okay.
now, I cannot.
All right. Yeah, there are things that we want to
Like
manufacture.
right now, I'm not in the position to say this and this can be done. But once I'm done, I'll come and talk to you and see what you can do about them. Thank you.
Okay. Now, so what I want to encourage everybody, and in fact for the summit in December, is that by the time the summit is coming, you want to make sure your idea is ready, because there's going to be investors in that summit. People can buy into your project. Like these people are calling matching funds, people with deep pockets, and they can provide matching funds. So how do you gain access to that? If you have an idea, just like what you have said about medical water, medical water is just easy, it's available, you can see it. Think about something like that. There's so many other things that you can think about manufacturing that are not very expensive and do not require a lot of clinical precision. Say like wood healing with honey, and this, packaging something like that, because honey is very therapeutic for so many ways, so many things. And this honey, there are honeybees like in Ukambani, there's honeybees in Kakamega, honeybees in Kericho, and these different honeybees have got different quality of honey. And the different quality of honey is due to the different types of pollen in those different locations. And so if you knew that, you would know that certain honeys from certain places they are more effective in healing wounds compared to certain honeys from certain places. Or just say honey because honey is a superfood. It's something you can promote one aspect of the honey for therapeutic use. And then how do you now take that to package it and manufacture it and sell it in the market? The honey is there, so the raw material is not complicated. Other things, coconut itself, coconut oil, has also a lot of therapeutic use. We could say this is not high science. We're talking about antibiotics, stuff like that. We're talking about things that
Kamrada, umetulia hiyo. Labda
Okay,
ukula
we can hear you, Mr. Murray. So these ideas of how you can package such things. The other superfoods that when they're mixed up can provide very good nutrition for small babies, for weaning, or even for pregnant women, or even for people with certain diseases. And you can package them, like nutritional supplements. They are there in the community, but people know them. They use those in community. Now, people in food science and agriculture, say at Jomo Kenyatta University at JKUAT, even at KU, people in food science, they actually know the therapeutic application of these superfoods, but you're not able to compose them into a product that you can find on the shelf of the supermarket, or even in pharmacy, in the local pharmacy, you cannot find them. But then people in the university know that. They have written dissertations about them. So what we are talking about is that by December, if you know something like that, things like moringa, you'll see the moringa, the moringa tree is for the moringa itself, its own seeds, the moringa seeds, highly therapeutic. Also the moringa leaves. People make moringa here in the United States. Moringa leaves are in high demand by people with high blood pressure, hypertension. So how effective it is, I do not know. But you see, people are selling them. Moringa it grows everywhere in Kenya, particularly Mount Kenya region. A lot of moringa leaves, and then by the time they come to the United States, they are packaged. And these are some people already are packaging that, but there's so many other leaves like that, like Mudhega tree, which is there in Nairobi. In Nairobi is full of Mudhega. Even Muthaiga, that Muthaiga place is named after that tree called Muthaiga. And because Muthaiga is dawa, means medicines. So Muthaiga is a medicinal tree that grows in Muthaiga, Karura forests, and that whole place in Nairobi. And nobody has packaged that Muthaiga. Although we have an estate for the wealthy people called Muthaiga, we do not have anybody who has packaged that Muthaiga into something that people can buy to improve their life. And of course, there is Mwarubaini, the mkilifi tree there. Mwarubaini is said to cure 40 diseases. It has high potent anti-inflammatory activity, reduces inflammation. And so, yeah, that's another thing. People know about it in Kenya. People in academic establishment know about it. Even wananchi know about it. Local people know about it, but nobody is packaging it or to manufacture it in large quantity for sale locally to improve to work as an anti-inflammatory drug, or even for exports to other places in the world who would benefit from that. Mhm. So there's a lot of things that are there. And I think what was missing is funding. Now we have quadratic funding. So we get quadratic funding for manufacturing all those products. So by December in the summit, you want to present such things, because I know this, I'm just actuating the ideas in your mind. So make a poster to come and present at the summit about any one of those things. Can be Modega, can be Mwarubaini, can be Moringa, but these are the things I know from my own village. Think about things that are in your village, people are doing there, and then bring them to the laboratory in the university, test them, evaluate them, and then see how you can package them. Then you can talk about manufacturing them, and help you to raise money for manufacturing. But that is now through the December summit. Okay, so that's what I would like to add about that. So I think the whole place is full of things that we can translate into commercial products, and then everybody makes a lot of money, and then we are released, we get liberated, or we redeem ourselves from the jaws of what is this called? What's this colonialism, neocolonialism that tells us that we cannot make our own medicines, where the medicines actually are made by nature. They are already available for us, including water, modega tree, mwarubaini, moili, all that stuff. Okay. Thank you so much. Very exciting. And I believe that by December, we're going to have a whole set of ideas. And let me tell you, finally, it's not that the money is lacking. Money is not the problem. The problem is coordination. So we coordinate. And that's why we're saying to you here, go now to PancakeSwap, begin accumulating Actuate tokens, because they are there. Because when this thing hits the ground, the token is going to be very expensive. And you're saying, I was there, I never bought the actual token. So besides receiving the actual token today for the Land 1 session, go to PancakeSwap and buy thousands of those tokens today. All right. Thank you so much. And back to you, Glory. Grace, why did I call you Glory?
Yeah, Grace, thank you so much, Doc. I can see Damen says that thank you for the insight. Damen, you're welcome. Also, Remy is asking a question. Let me see this question. He's asking, Doc, it's moringa tree found in Muthaiga.
Moringa. Moringa grows in Mount Kenya area. That's Nyeri. It's Muthaiga. Muthaiga is Muthaiga. Muthaiga. But I would not know. I don't know whether Moringa grows in Muthaiga. But Moringa tree, I know it's very well in Nyeri, because I grew up in Nyeri. We had a lot of Moringa. But Moringa tree is also found in Nairobi. In Karen, where we were, I was saying there's lots of Moringas over there. So I don't know why it would not grow in Muthaiga. It grows in Muthaiga, of course. Yes.
Okay, Remy, you've said that. So at this time, I want to make maybe some announcement. Let's continue also interacting on our session. So next week on Tuesday, we are going to be finalizing our cohort 2 of quadratic funding in the distribution stage of biomedical knowledge translation. All of you are welcome. You come in with more questions. I come in with more comments about that topic. So at this time, I want to post the attendance sheet on the message place. So let me post it. Kindly make sure that you fill the form before we get into the next session. So I think if we do not have anyone else with a comment, we can join the meeting so that we may prepare for the next session, which is starting at 8 p.m.
All right, bye everyone. See you soon in